The same 17 for Craig Fitzgibbon, just a slight shuffle. Cronulla, as I mentioned, 9 wins, 5 defeats. They are in the top 4. They need to win this to make sure they stay there. The Mark Hughes Foundation beanies on every player's head as they take the field this round, and having worn one last night at Penrith, Steve Roach, I can vouch for them. They kept me dry, they kept me warm. Make sure you get one, markhughesfoundation.com.au.
And there he is, Mulitalo, 10 tries, 23 line breaks this season so far. Geez, good at the back end of the field there. Debutant for the Kiwis last week too. Great to see him get that test jersey. Here comes the Doggies.
4 wins, 11 losses, but they've won their last 2. 34-4 against Parramatta, 36-12 against West's Tigers.
I reckon that man there, Matt Burton, after his debut performance for New South Wales, he would have woke up this morning, seen the weather and said, bombs away. Look out, William Kennedy at the back there for the Sharkies in this game of footy. Gee, he was good. Played so well for the New South Wales side. Really instrumental too in this Bulldogs team, getting them going. Looking to go 3 in a row. The Doggies to kick off. Let's have a look at their defence early in this game. And there he is, Jake Alvarello, 6 tries. Keeping Mac Duffy in reserve grade in the Reggies. He's been explosive at the back there for the Doggies. One of the reasons that they've scored so many points over the last couple of weeks.
Ash Klein is the referee. Jared Sutton in the bunker. We'll see him kick off. How long until we see that prodigious left boot in general play, owned by Matt Burton? Well, I think we've got a really good Super Saturday in store. Underway in the first of 3, Canterbury kicking off to the southern end of CommBank Stadium on a soggy Saturday indeed, and it's Royce Hunt straight into Paul Vaughan. You can see the water on the ground here as the rain intensifies over the last 60 minutes or so. Rosehill races across the road, abandoned after race 5. I was tipping flash flood in race 6, but we didn't get to that. The footy continues nevertheless, and it's great to see the Sharkies and Canterbury come here in form. Nicho Hynes completes the opening set, turning Averillo around. The ball trickles down to the goal line. The chase is a good one, and there's pressure straight away on Canterbury.
Yeah, so important the kicking game in this game. That's a beauty there to kick off the first set there from Nicho Hynes. The kick downfield. Averillo cleans it up, and they're only 5 metres out on the second tackle here. It's good tactics. Kick early. They'll have a big Sutherland behind them by the look of it. The Sharks in the first half.
20-year-old Jacob Kiraz there, surrounded by Sharks and driven backwards. They've come nowhere really early in this set, and Flanagan pokes his upper body through the line and takes them beyond the 20. That was a key run with Pangai Jr. off the back of that, and considering an offload. Now fighting for the play of the ball, and here's Burton just driving it regulation, end over end, out towards the wing of Katoa. 11 tries for Cronulla so far this season. Sione Katoa. He scored 5 in his past 2 games against the Bulldogs, so the opposition he faces today, he'll have fond memories of playing. Ramian. And now Blake Brayley out of dummy half. He's hurled to ground by the opposite 9, Jeremy Marshall-King. For Nukin. 36 minutes off the bench in his comeback game last week. Called into the starting 13 today. It's flat and short from Hynes. The pass held by Nikora on that right-hand edge for the Sharks. Now Hynes just measures his kick. Averillo underneath it and down safely. You can see the conditions here. Lara Pitt, you're a hearty soul sideline today. The penalty goes to Canterbury.
Yeah, well, Matt, it is the best ground to be at on the sideline on a torrential day like today. Great cover here at CommBank Stadium, but there is a blanket of rain right across Sydney on the radar, so it's looking very set in, and as you can see on your screen, torrential right now. There's a lot of water sitting on the surface of CommBank Stadium, and it may very well come down to who handles these conditions the best.
Yeah, the fans, they're smart. They know they can come to CommBank Stadium and sit in the dry. These teams have a string of close results, with the exception of their last meeting. Round 19 last year, Cronulla winning it by 20. But since 2019, they've taken it in turns to win this matchup. If that sequence continues, it's the Dogs' day. Did you come here thinking you knew or know who was going to win this, Steve Roach?
I've got to say I was a little bit disappointed with the weather over the last couple of days, because both of these sides, especially the Doggies over the last couple of weeks, love to score points, love to throw that ball around. It'll be interesting to see what sort of tactics they go in. They're just up over the halfway line at the moment. Good start from both sides.
Vaughan goes on to Burton. A change of direction is provided by Josh Jackson with an offload back to Burton. On their left-hand side, it's shut down. Aaron Schopp losing his legs courtesy of the tackle from Nico Hines. Now the Flanagan kick, high down the ground. Will Kennedy plants his feet, catches safely. You can see the conditions he's dealing with. And the back five told to prepare for a Burton bombardment this afternoon. Now more than the shift, and Talakai, Declan Casey, the debutant, was up quickly on Talakai. He'll have his hands full, you expect, but he won't be overawed with memory to the tackle Declan Casey pulled off on Kalen Ponga. Now there's a break down the sideline. Wade Graham rounded up by Jacob Kiraz, but the veteran, Wade Graham, went a long way with a shift to the left. Ramian skipping across field. Away from Burton, Jesse Ramian hits a hole and he's pulled down by Addo-Carr. They stretched him to the left, then go back to the right, and now the Sharks are 10 metres out. Hines to Brayley. Toby Rudolph. Just straightening and settling to open up both sides of the field on the last play. Hines, now Moylan, numbers here, Kennedy, Talakai, he goes outside, and Ronaldo Mulatalo delivers first for the Sharks.
Well, can't he finish well, Mulatalo? What a great set that was there. It started right up the other end of the field. They chanced their hand in their own half. It was a beautiful pass from Nico Hines. Got on the outside and went straight to Wade Graham, positioned himself beautifully. He took the tackle, then they spread the ball to the right-hand side. And I've got to say, it was a great tackle from Josh Addo-Carr and Ramey, and he's a hard man to handle. When they come back to the left, just get caught in field. Mulatalo scores the opening try. That's an exciting brand of footy in these conditions. And look at that for a finish.
He was a Queenslander for a day. He's made his test debut for Samoa, and last week his test debut for New Zealand. That will be his future. He scored on debut for the Kiwis in that win against Tonga, and he's back to clubland a week later and scoring again. In fact, Steve, he's about to have his best try-scoring season. It stands at 12. Well, he's gone to 11 for season 2022. He'll blow past 12 in coming weeks for sure.
Yeah, they love scoring tries, these guys, don't they? And it was a good set play there to really make that long-range break from Wade Graham. He did well, too, to take the tackle. Didn't try to force the ball back on the inside. Come back out the left. That's their preferred side. I think that's a 30th try of the season. Down that left-hand side. And the Sharks open the scoring.
Nico Hines from the western sideline in the wet. It is a thing of beauty. Well may he smile. 6-0 Cronulla. Lara Ronaldo Mulatalo, a 22-year-old out of the Ellerslie Eagles.
Yeah, and Craig Fitzgibbon, Matty, had such a rap for his winger this week. He said he's an absolutely outstanding talent. We know what a threat he is already in such an early stage of his career. He said he brings the energy and the spirit to this team, and when he does that, the others around him lift to meet him there. As you mentioned, just 22 years of age, playing game 53 today, and that's his 38th try. But I am told he's only the second loudest in the team, still stuck behind Andrew Fafita.
Absolutely. It would take quite the voice, quite the mouth to go past Andrew. Burton with the restart. And let's not get too far away from the run by Wade Graham to set it all up. Here's Royce Hunt, like he did from the kickoff to the game, returning the ball with vigour. But great to see Wade back from a string of injuries and running down the sideline like that. Now another shift against a compressed defensive line. Addo-Carr did just enough along with Burton, and then the Sharks throw it away.
It looks like they're almost inviting the opposition in the Sharks to try and go around this defensive line. have shortened it up. Again, we see just the forced pass there from Ramian. And that's not the sort of response you want after you score a try. They couldn't get up over the halfway line. They didn't get to their kick. The Dogs will be straight away in their tack 30 out.
After Cronulla beat Gold Coast, Craig Fitzgibbon said, "I'm happy to win ugly," but then he revised that and said, on reflection, "I thought it was better than ugly. I thought it was a hard-fought win." I suspect they'll need a hard-fought performance here as they look to defend their own 20-metre line. Certainly if Canterbury can continue the form and confidence they've shown over the last couple of rounds. Marshall King, as the set restart is called for the Bulldogs. Now Flanagan showing it to Vaughan and going to King instead. It's Flanagan at the 10-metre line. Burton with a straight run, well read by Hines. A couple of New South Wales squad members right there. Vaughan into the clutches of Finucane and Hunt. Now out of dummy half, they'll strike through to Vita Pangai Jr. He's quickly surrounded. A whole lot of strike with that run. He takes tackle 5. Flanagan, and now the kick from Averillo into the in-goal, too heavy. A 7-tackle set for the Sharks.
Yeah, Averillo just a little bit too much on that one. You would have thought in these sort of conditions the ball would have pulled up a little bit quicker than that. Goes dead in goal. 7-tackle set now to the Sharks.
And Moylan supported by Katoa. Ronaldo Mulatalo goes to 11 tries, equal with Katoa in that race to be Cronulla's leading try scorer this season. Toby Rudolph, look at the water as this rain persists. Forecast to get worse overnight, maybe the worst of it tomorrow. Hard to imagine as Finucane is stopped 35 metres out. Now Moylan with a skip in the run, the long ball from Wade Graham. Mulatalo running out of room, and he does really well to stay in the field of play. An arm though went over the sideline as a result. Ash Klein is forced into the penalty, having called held.
Yeah, it's got to be a penalty because they had the second grab on Mulatalo there. Did so well as keeping the field of play. I don't think it'll be long before we see Talakai throw the dummy and take him on when he's close to the line like that. He's passed a couple of times on the outside. Let's see if the Sharks can come away with a try here. They've been down here a couple of times, come away with 1 try. They'll be pretty confident now with a full set.
Talakai with the tap for Hines to go through the hands onto Finucane. I know Steve Roach, you're keen to see Talakai with ball in hand close to the line in these conditions. Let's see if that unfolds sometime soon. Hines to Hunt, who had the ball come free and backwards. It's cleaned up by a dive from Nico Hines. Toby Rudolph straight at Vaughan, not for the first time this afternoon. Brayley, here's the other front rower, Royce Hunt. 1 try for Royce this season. He's made himself a regular starting prop now at the Sharks. Hines holds the pass, takes the line on. It's a good tackle in the end. King got there, but first contact, Burton. The kick out of dummy half, and the set restarts here. It was the Blake Brayley stab at the ball, ruled to be played at. I'm not so sure. And Moylan. Applying the blowtorch to the Bulldogs goal line here. Cronulla, Hines, Kennedy, quick hands. Now Ramian gets the ball away. Katoa, Sione Katoa, back to his fullback, still on for Cronulla. Good hands in the wet, another kick. Was that played at? And it's been cleaned up by Canterbury. Great resolve, fantastic desperation, and they hang on.
Yeah, it was Kyle Flanagan. It just played up on there. The ball was bobbling around. Some exciting play there from the Sharks, but they got off their line.
Now, a dummy and go. Jeremy Marshall-King looking for support. It's here now. Avarillo cleaned up by Ronaldo Mulatalo. Is it raining? Is it wet? It doesn't look to be. Burton's kick. Now scooped up in the in goal and forced dead. Anything but convincingly. Sione Katoa, someone tell them it's not dry and 30 degrees.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to be really dangerous out of dummy half. Marshall-King, if there's a player down, away he'll go. He did well to hang on to the ball here. Gets the offload, and that's the man you want the ball in hand. Avarillo, they make a good tackle. It was Mulatalo that made the tackle. Here's the clean up at the back. Gee, just one little bounce of the ball there. They could have scored. Both sides playing exciting footy. They went the length of the field in that set.
And forced the goal line dropout at the end of it from Nico Hines. Declan Casey. What a horror to receive on debut. On the first bounce, around the shins, in the rain and the wet. And Declan couldn't clean it up.
We got a feel for the young bloke. It bounced about 15 metres away from him and then skidded. I wonder if he thought that he would just bounce it off his legs or off his knees. No one around him there, but he just tried to get his hands to the ball, just spewed out. Gee, that's a bad error there. I feel for the young fella there. But he's got to get that out of his mind now. Get back into the game.
A centre field scrum. And they go to Jesse Ramian. With a penalty now, a dangerous tackle will be the ruling here.
He's left into a position where he's vulnerable.
Now that man Josh Addo-Carr wearing the mic for Fox League this afternoon. You'll hear all about Josh Addo-Carr on Benji. There's the tackle, and unlike one we saw at Penrith last night, Stephen, you're happy enough for that to be blown in the modern game.
After the mistake and then a penalty on the back of it. You would think that the Sharks will really put a heap of pressure on the Dogs here. Defensively, they've been good on their goal line so far. The fatigue will start to set in if they keep making those sort of mistakes.
Will Kennedy, a change of direction provided by Nikora. Pulled down by the two front rowers, Kick and Vaughan. Now Hines goes flats and Rudolph. They were waiting for Toby. They'll go the same way. Hines behind Talakai, tipped on by Moylan. Mulatalo, big step in the face of Kiraz, who stayed up to task. Pass to no one. Good pickup by Moylan. It skids in around groin level and he gets it back. Still the last, not played at by Canterbury. Now Hines kicking out for Mulatalo. It's too heavy. It's out on the full.
You've got to give a rap there to the Bulldogs' defence. They threw plenty at them that time in that set, the Sharks. They didn't wait and ball watch. They got up in the face of the Sharks' attackers and they hang on. Plenty of resolve there from the Bulldogs' defence.
They're trying to win 3 in a row for the first time since 2019, Canterbury. It's been 60 games since they last went 3 on the bounce. Is that the prize this afternoon? On a rotten afternoon, as the pictures illustrate. Here's Jackson. His 11th season at Canterbury, Josh. What a servant he's been for the Bulldogs. Pangai Jr. through Vaughan. And it's on for Corey Waddell. That familiar switch made by Michael Potter. Waddell into the starting lineup for Faitala Mariner. The kick down the ground where it's taken by Kennedy. And Kennedy counters. For a moment, it looked like Mulatalo was on the outside of Declan Casey.
A little bit slow to his feet that time, Matt Burton. That big bomb there. Put under pressure, that'd be one of the main things that Coach Fitzgibbon would have told his players. Let's get out and chase. Try and put some pressure on him.
There's the contact by Wade Graham on Matt Burton. Now Hines thought about going down the short side and realised there wasn't much of a short side. So Burton shuts all that down. Nakora. He takes tackle 5. Staying on his feet though. And now Hines will kick for Katoa. It's heavy. It's down in the in goal. It's a 7-tackle set to Canterbury. So Nico's boot letting him down over the last few minutes.
Yeah, and look at how they want to get on with it too, playing that up-tempo type of footy, the Dogs. I think they'll die wondering in this game.
Here's Pangai Jr. looking for an offload. Vaughan. Canterbury set to send Raymond Faitala Mariner into the action. Pangai Jr. again. Don't often see conditions like these, do you? Marshall King in the middle of the ground. It's King, Max King, took 4 days off during rep rounds. Went to the Gold Coast and said he missed footy. Didn't know what to do with himself. He knows what to do this afternoon. As Faitala Mariner takes the field. Burton up off the left boot. It will come down in the in-goal area and be marked by Mulatalo. So both kickers getting it wrong in the last 2 sets. Now, Talakai again. I know you're excited to see him attacking Canterbury's goal line in these conditions, Steve.
Yeah, I reckon they've just got to set some plays up, go into the near post and come back to him. As I said, he's passed the ball a couple of times there on the outside. I love it when he rolls his sleeves up and just says, I'm going to take the line on. He's been in position a couple of times.
Aidan Tolman on for Royce Hunt as the kick from Hines dribbles in behind Avarillo. And Jake is taken by Nico Hines. So Aidan Tolman playing the club where he spent a decade. Now a Shark, formerly a Bulldog for a long, long time. And in the same boat, Dale Finucane, who started his NRL journey as a Bulldog, went to Melbourne and... Oh, no, it's put down. Declan Casey with another fumble, his second error of the game, and now he admonishes himself. Well, not the start he wanted, Blocker, but there's a long way to go. There's 60 minutes left in this game for the debutant to salvage some memories, to create something special first up.
Yeah, at least he made the error, then trying to cart the ball up off his own line. Probably had a little bit of a look up to see who was in front of him, but put himself in a position. He's made another mistake. Good sides make you pay.
Played 8 cup games, 11 cup games this season for 8 wins, 6 tries. It's Cronulla though with the ball, then attacking through Hines, Moylan, and Nakora was the straight run into Faitala Mariner and Burton. In fact, it was Jesse Ramian. Now Tolman, fresh man on. That's tackle 1. Brayley passed flat and short, and they almost burrow over. Toby Rudolph it was. Same ploy. This time Nakora. And again, the goal line defence stands strong. Tolman. They number up to the left and go that way. Through Rudolph, Hines, quick hands, tipped on twice. Moylan, Talakai, but they can't find Mulatalo, and again, it goes over the western sideline.
Just trying to get a little bit too fancy. 66% of territory they've had, the Sharks, attacking the goal line of the Dogs. It's only 6-0. The Dogs would be pretty happy with that. They haven't waited around to see and ball watch what they were going to do. They got off their line again and put the pressure on. Talakai with a double tip on there. Not really the go in these sort of conditions.
So our best wishes to Canterbury coach Michael Potter, watching this one from home as he nurses COVID isolation. And it's David Furner and Craig Sandercock, interims, if you like, looking after the team at the ground today, but Mick Potter watching on from home. See you back at the footy next week, Mick, as Faitala Mariner takes the tackle 30 metres out. Just the one try so far, scored by Ronaldo Mulatalo. It came in the 6th minute of the game, and now we're into the back end of this first half. Burton given time to measure the kick. He drives it high and long, and it's gobbled up by Katoa. Inside his own 10, but plenty of room to return, and he didn't even think of stepping.
Yeah, I love the way he returns the ball. Week in and week out. Katoa, that's a great charge to start the set off. Some punish to defence in this game so far.
This is a good game. It's an arm wrestle in the wet, and two beauties on paper to follow. North Queensland against Brisbane, 3rd against 5th on the current ladder. And then Souths against Parramatta. Latrell Mitchell's return, you'll see it exclusively to Fox League. Now, the kick from Cronulla pulls up in the wet, and Declan Casey, oh, he's put it down again, but the whistle, the penalty bails him out. High contact, the call.
He's already inside. He's already inside.
Actually, offside. Offside is the call. I saw Declan moving his jaw and grabbing at his chin. Nothing illegal about the contact. It was the offside ruling from the coach, Ashley Klein, the referee.
Yeah, the good thing about Nico Hines too with his kicking game, he doesn't sit back and admire his kicks. He's generally the first man down there to make the tackle, so it's another big plus for them. And I reckon the young fella would have looked up then and said, oh no, not another one. Casey gets away with that one.
Had a lot of ball in the opposition half, Canterbury. 40% of the possession, and most of it in their own half. Now Faitala Mariner. Here's Flanagan on to Jackson, who bumped away from Moylan momentarily, but then he disappears into the bog at the southern end of CommBank Stadium. Marshall King up to Flanagan, now Burton, and they're 15 metres out.
You've got to get a result from a kick here.
2 plays left, they're set up to the right, and they come that way. King says, I'll have one more run. Max King looking for an offload. It has been a feature of his game this season. Marshall King to Vaughan. Vaughan will take them on the last. In fact, there was a set restart. Marshall King to Faitala Mariner. This is tackle 3 for the Dogs. It's lost and taken by Cronulla.
I don't know what he was trying to do there, just spin around and offload the ball out the back. Probably not the play there. Got to get down and play the ball quickly. They got the desired result. They needed that repeat set. They got it, the Dogs. Now they give away a penalty. A little bit of a high shot or a crusher tackle.
Time's off. Just wait.
Both of these clubs in recent times have done well after a week off. Some players involved in rep round last weekend, of course, but they have a positive record in terms of winning after a break. Both of these clubs, a mark there, a nick for Aidan Tolman.
First cut.
Max King goes on report.
He'll just treat you out the back there. We're going to play on though.
There goes a modelling career for Tolman. Little nick over his eye.
He's a good-looking rooster striker, and he's got a few more nicks in him before he's wiped by whatever organisation wants to pick him up, Stephen.
That weather's getting worse, isn't it?
And the crowd is evidence of that. Offload by Rudolph for Kennedy. So they're in enemy territory here as Finucane goes to Wade Graham with a forward pass. It was called by Canterbury straight away, and Ash Klein agreed straight away.
Well, very important just to play field position and completions. 12 from 16 now from the Sharks. I think they've got a little bit too excited when they've had all that field position, only come away with the one try. I want to if they're going to have a look at that. They're going to call it. No.
Well, as Mick Potter watches on from home, it's something that Craig Fitzgibbon has already had to do this season, and he spoke about how difficult it was this week, feeling a little helpless watching your team at home. With all the modern technology at their disposal still, it's not easy. Fitzy here today, hoping his team can go 3 in a row to break a period of inconsistency. They had a 9-game streak of win-loss, win-loss. Now back-to-back. They'd love to get on a roll through the back end of this season. A set restart for Canterbury. King, catch and pass through Jackson. Faitala Mariner. The leg drive chewing off a few more metres. Unsigned going forward, but they have a plan, the Dogs say, for Faitala Mariner. Now the kick, it's a good one into the in-goal. Kennedy, work to do here. He did a lot of good work, but still finishes trapped in goal. It looked like he was about to return to the field of play. The chase got there eventually.
Yeah, it's a nice play. Don't wait to the last tackle. Flanagan in there. He was kicking for Averillo. Kennedy got in nice position, but they couldn't get back in the field of play. The Doggies have really got to try and score in this set here. They've forced the error. They've forced the line drop out now. They've got to come away with a try.
The last kick went the same way towards Casey. It does again. This time it's Kiraz with the trap and pick up. The lights taking effect and glowing off the surface water here at CommBank Stadium. Joe Stimpson. Marshall King fires the ball to Flanagan, stepping off his left, then right, inside the 10. Burton to the left. They come to the right, and King is on the charge. Big numbers in their most recent win against the Tigers for Max. Here's Flanagan. Averillo joins in, and Waddell goes to work with a straight line run. Final play. They head towards the short side. Averillo's kick taken on the full. Mulatalo's away. It's a foot race. Plenty of Dogs across in cover. Burton gets there and crunch. The New South Wales Origin star on the Kiwi representative. Now Talakai. Strong run off the back of the break, and he's been stripped. Kyle Flanagan. Big play for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's a huge play. A couple of big plays there from Flanagan. Little grubber kick early in the tackle count to force the line drop out. Now the steal, giving his team every chance here.
Stimpson to Burton, who was under pressure. Hines had raced up and shut it down on the spot. Yeah, it was Jeremy Marshall-King letting go just in time. Called perhaps by Flanagan, and they timed it perfectly. Here he is, the thief, offloading for Kiraz. He thinks about the offload. And they arrive at the last again. Burton didn't get it as he would have liked. Scuffed the ground during the swing, and it's down for Katoa. A penalty, obstruction, or escort here.
They've got to rush over to get the ball and get on with it here, the Dogs. They've had a lot of ball in the last 10 minutes. It's kickable, this one. I wonder if they go for goal, but I'd keep the pressure on here. What are they going to do? Looking to the sideline. Keep the pressure on, boys.
The run of Josh Addo-Carr impeded by a shark. Do you like this call?
Yeah, I like it. I would have done it. They've had a lot of ball. You've got to have a look at how much footy you've had over the last 10 minutes. Really puts the pressure on the Sharks now.
Yeah, that possession stat balancing up now as Burton takes the line on. Thought about passing, thought about kicking, and does offload for Faitala Mariner, likewise. Now the ball, it's out for Waddell to Talakai, the fend. And And Talakai did enough with support. Navarillo whips the pass through Flanagan. And here's Pangai Jr. Rudolph drops down around the ankles. Marshall King through Stimpson, Jackson, now Flanagan long, over the top to Addo-Carr. 11 tries in his last 9 games, the Fox. After a slow start to his Canterbury career, now he gets another penalty. That's 2 in a row against Cronulla because of Josh Addo-Carr.
Yeah, it's time off too. I wonder if he'll caution one of the Sharks players here.
Just a reminder, he's mic'd up for Fox League. You'll hear the Fox on Benji on Monday night. How many yeah bras do we get? How many let's trots do we get? Watch on Monday night to find out. Burton, Flanagan, and Pangai Jr.
Still reckon they've got to play a little bit more direct here, the Doggies. They're going side to side, try and pull the Sharks in.
And moving out towards the right-hand side where Sifa Talakai is waiting with a big swat. Forcing Flanagan to ground. Jackson ball playing middle of the ground now. Burton's kick sits up beautifully. And the Sharks diffuse the situation. Will Kennedy received the kind bounce. There's hard meters here, Blocker.
Yeah, this is a tough way to make a living here for the Sharks off their own goal line. Tolman puts his hand up.
And if you're joining us late, just the 1 try so far scored by Ronaldo Mulatalo in the 6th minute. Nico Hines converting from the sideline magnificently. And now the kick from Wade Graham, anything but magnificent, but all's well that ends well. It finds the sideline, a gain of about 20 metres.
I think he was trying to play field position there. I think part of their tactics is get to the 30 metres or 40 metre line and kick, comes off the side of the boot. Gee, you think they'd break soon. They've had a lot of ball, the Bulldogs.
Well, Canterbury yet to open their account with 6.5 left. It's been mentioned a lot in recent weeks, I know, but opening 10 rounds of the competition, they scored fewer than 10 points per game. Since then, 27 points per game. How many do they need this afternoon to win?
And that's Pangai Jr. just gets up, a little ginger, just grabbing at an ankle here. He's with the trainer at the moment.
Lara Pitt will keep her eye on that. Well, I need at least 7 to win at this point, Canterbury. As they go through the hands, and here's Flanagan out the back. This is better. Avarillo to Casey. Now Waddell. You can hear them running through the slop.
Pangai's coming off.
Here's Giros pulling up. Back for Waddell.
Geez, he had the pass there.
He just took play in front of the uprights. And Marshall King goes long to Burton. Here's Faitala Mariner. The defence was waiting. Hines and Ramian. How do they get through this Cronulla defence? Aaron Shop goes out of dummy half. They hold him up.
Tackle 3, well, easy, guys. Use your foot, okay, Aaron. Aaron, back 10. Aaron.
He was big last game. Aaron Shop, 262 run metres, a try. But much different conditions this afternoon. Stimpson, oh, look at that tackle. Beautiful rugby league. Matt Moylan on Kyle Flanagan. Now Flanagan makes a mistake in the play of the ball, and well may Matt Moylan be surrounded by his teammates in congratulations.
Yeah, just tried to get to his feet a little bit too quick there. And moved off the mark, they're saying. I think they're going to challenge it, are they?
Okay, that was tackle 4. We have a captain's challenge for the Bulldogs. Now, my ruling is it was a strong tackle. Cole moves forward, which takes him off the mark, and then he loses the ball. Okay, we're asking questions. It's 10 seconds anyway, but it was all right.
Here's the tackle.
Kyle Flanagan has dominated in a strong tackle. He then moves forward off the mark and does not bring the ball into play correctly. The challenge is unsuccessful.
So Canterbury lose their challenge.
No more challenges, Bulldogs.
I reckon that could have gone either way. It looked to me like Matt Moylan had a second grab. I know it was a dominant tackle, but once he tried to get off him and Flanagan was trying to get to his feet, I think he had that second grab to him. But
he's obligated to stand on the spot and play the ball rather than walking past. Let's have a look at it again here from this angle. If he plays the ball there, good, but takes the extra step and therefore gets it wrong. That's the way that Jared Sutton saw it in the bunker, and now Talakai has ball in hand for the Sharks. Big contact made on Teague Wilton. Welcome to CommBank Stadium. Juggle from Rudolph. Let's go to Lara Pitt sideline.
Yeah, Matty, as that challenge was unfolding, Tavita Pangai Jr. came from the field. He tried to put pressure and on his left ankle and failed to do that. He was limping from the field. The trainer has brought him up the tunnel and they're talking with him now, the doctors, so we'll find out half-time the nature of the injury, but certainly not looking good.
Okay, thank you, Lara. One to follow through this game at half-time. Cooper Cronk, Benji Marshall run the rule over Nico Hines in his first half here. Cam McInnes this time with an incorrect play the ball.
I don't think Craig Fitzgibbon will be very happy at half-time. That's their 9th error in this first half. They had plenty of ball in that first 20 minutes of the half and only scored the 1 try.
How did you go playing in the slop, Steve Roach? Did you lick your lips at the thought of the little men and the speedsters being bogged down in mud?
No, not at all. The dry surface. You would think it'd be the other way round, but not normally.
And now a penalty to Canterbury. Tap and go by Jeremy Marshall-King. And he chews off the best part of 20 metres as a result. Curtis Moran out there in the clean jumper. 17, Faitala Mariner. Angles back towards the posts.
I think he's just got to tuck the ball under his arm and run as hard as he can. Don't worry about trying to offload. It'll happen. Run first.
It's his 6th game of the season. Faitala Mariner. Waddell. Back from that foot injury that kept him out for so long. Gave him so much trouble. Flanagan. And now Stimpson. The grubber into the legs of Aidan Tolman, now picked up by Tolman.
I think the first one's off you, Blake. I thought you touched the ball first.
So Blake Brayley has made the initial knock on in the eyes of Ashley Klein.
Yeah. No. You got it. I thought Blake touched the ball. Yeah. Be good, guys.
There's not much room for a grubber kick through there.
So, time for a full set here for Canterbury.
It's going to be one of those games, just a slugfest.
As illustrated by the scoreboard, just the 1 try, Ronaldo Mulatalo scoring very early on. Here's Burton. Waddell. .80 seconds left in the first half as Moran, he was a try scorer on debut. Picked up a shoulder injury, but has made a rapid recovery, and he's out there for game 2. Jackson. 3 defenders force him back. Burton waits on the left. Finds Faitala Mariner. Hines and Kennedy, the tacklers. Back for Burton. The kick, looking for Flanagan, who got there. The ball didn't, though. It pulled up.
6 again.
And 6 more. There are only 40 seconds left in the half. Moran it was, clearing up. Waddell. They spread out to the left. Flanagan for Moran. Marshall-King. Picks out Burton. Burton with a step. Burton beat one, but Rudolph made really good contact, knocking him into Kennedy. Maybe the last play, the kick into the end goal. Jake Averillo comes flying through. So the kick is the option, and second time around, they get their golden results.
Well, I'll tell you what they've done well. Don't wait to the last tackle to try and get the repeat set. They've kicked early. The rushing defence of the Sharks. It was Burton who booted tackle. It's a beautiful tackle back on the inside there by Rudolph. Then the grubber kick through. It looked like it was going to hit the post. Beautiful bounce. Averillo perfectly positioned. And finally the Dogs score. You can see with his hand up. Come on, put the kick in. What about the bounce? The Dogs are in.
He scored back-to-back doubles in his last couple of games. In fact, 3 of his last 4 he's gone over for 2. There's the first for today, and it should mean we are locked up at half-time. It's been a long time coming for the Bulldogs, but patience has paid off after giving Cronulla so much ball and territory early. Now, both of those statistics favour the home team today, Canterbury.
And they've played well. They really haven't panicked, have they, the Dogs? Would have been a little bit frustrating with the amount of ball they've had in the last 20 minutes, but they've grinded away, kicked early in the tackle count, and finally get a reward.
Well, Canterbury's players so happy in a group chat to watch this man perform for the Blues on debut. They welcomed him back with open arms and got around him. He was humbled. He sprang into his first training session, did every session of the week without missing a minute. And their last 2 results, plus Matt Burton's Origin success, have lifted Canterbury. And here they are kicking to lock it up against a top 4 team. Having beaten Parramatta and West Tigers over the last 2 games, they are now on level terms with the Sharks. We hit half-time all locked up. 1 try each in the first 40, 6 all as they head to the break. So Burton, we saw him kicking in the first half, in fact, many times, but yet to really launch those hanging, I don't know how to describe them, those hanging handfuls. They were end over end, more of your regulation, and Nicho Hynes last out of the sheds for Cronulla, so Lara Pitt will be all over that, telling us if there's any drama regarding Nicho Hynes as he returns to the soggy playing surface. Soggy's almost an incorrect description because the water on the surface is pooling.
Stay behind, guys.
6 all. The tries in the first half, Ronaldo Mulitalo in the 6th minute, Jake Averillo in the 40th.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit of a problem scoring so early in a game. You probably think, oh, well, we're going to get some points here this afternoon. That's not the case for the Sharks so far. They've got to dig in here.
The second half underway, and it's Stimson with the first run after half-time. Both teams chasing a 3rd consecutive victory. The Sharks needing to succeed to guarantee they stay in the top 4. And Canterbury looking to continue this ladder climb off the bottom and up to 13th coming into this game. Big contact made here on Jeremy Marshall-King, the man who kicked for Averillo to score right on the stroke of half-time. And now it's Flanagan. They promote the ball and it goes through Burton. Here's Shop skidding towards the sideline, and Addo Carr there to guard against any danger. Now Burton has to hurry the kick a little. It wobbles its way towards the middle of the field and it's gobbled up by Matty Moylan.
Yeah, good pressure there. Tolman showing his experience. Put the pressure on Burton. It wasn't the greatest kick. And put it down to the kick chase there from Tolman.
Here's Talakai doing what you want him to do, tucking the ball under the arm and taking them on. You've heard of sharks in a tank. Well, he's the tank in shark colours. Sifa Talakai, fresh from his Origin debut last Sunday night, all 17 minutes of it. Hynes for Nakora. More good contact made. It's Marshall-King nailing the tackle. And now he puts pressure on Hynes. The kick is taken by Averillo, and timing his run, Will Kennedy arrives perfectly. Look at that water.
Yeah, the conditions are not easing up at all, Maddie, but just an update from both teams at half-time. Tavita Pangai Jr. will play no further part in this game. The club just saying left foot ankle issue, not commenting on the severity of it at this stage. But the Bulldogs positive in the shed, saying that they repelled pressure early. They've just got to keep the footy simple and do nothing flashy, prepared for a dogfight in the second half. Craig Fitzgibbon overall happy with defence and effort, just needs his team to understand they're going to make mistakes in these conditions. They've got to get on with it.
Thank you, Lara, as Burton drives down the ground, finding Will Kennedy. And Kennedy goes to Mulatalo for the return. And Pangai Jr. forced out of the game in the first half. 9 runs, 64 metres, 3 tackle breaks. Leading their go forward was Corey Waddell, who was named to come off the bench but started as he has been doing. And that's good from Moran defensively on Wilton. Rudolph. Now Hines, a long ball perfectly placed for Nakora. It was a risky pass, but Canterbury couldn't get their fingers on it. Tolman. Gained 310 for Aiden in his 15th NRL season. And now Hines. That's high, down the ground. And the pressure comes from Moylan, but it's taken really well. Jake Averillo with an offload as well. And now it opens up momentarily. Declan Casey.
Gee, it's so good for confidence of your side when a player can take the ball like that in Averillo, under pressure from Moylan, and then gets the offload to boot. As I said a little bit earlier, the Dogs, they love it to get down in the gutter. And they've got a fight on their hand now, the Sharks.
Stimson catch and pass through Jackson, Faitala Mariner. After this game, a beauty at Queensland Country-Bank Stadium in Townsville. North Queensland against Brisbane. Adam Reynolds back for the Broncos. Payne Haas playing, we believe. And the last now for Canterbury. Burton goes really high. It's end over end, but it's going to come down in the in goal and be dropped by the Sharks. It was collected by Canterbury, and the set restarts. Jackson for Burton, who runs to the line. Now Aaron Shop spots a hole. And he takes the tackle from Rudolph. Set restart after that. Now Burton, Faitala Mariner drops the ball over the goal line.
Well, can you believe it? He was just spinning around to plant the ball down and loses it on the way down. And there's the first real result from the bomb there.
How did they not score twice, Blocker? First from the drop, and then here, Faitala Mariner, well, he dropped the ball, but maybe there was a little bit of help. Was there a try-saving hand in there from Cronulla?
I think it might have been Burton too that got himself in a position as Mariner tried to spin around and slam that footy down. Desperation from the Sharks. And there's the first result really from the Matt Burton bombs. Almost impossible to take that right next to the posts.
Well, the try-saver might have been Cam McInnes, making life difficult for Faitala Mariner. Big play from the Cronulla number 13 as Phil Gould looks on. General manager of footy casting an eye over the doom and gloom here at Parramatta. And Tolman. It's like one big slip and slide out there. Taking us back to all those Christmas afternoons, Blocker, as a kid.
It'll be tough conditions too. You just got to be strong, so strong mentally now. Can't clock off for 1 second. Concentration.
Hines again aims for plenty of air with the kick. It bounces. The second kick from Moylan. Now there's a duel for the ball. Diving onto that slip and slide. Toby Rudolph out the other end, but told to change it over. Give some other kid a ride.
Just see that there was any interference there on the way through. Again, another towering bomb from Hines. Just fell in no man's land. No one really went for the ball there. Rudolph wins the race and then gets swamped.
It's an appropriate word. Swamped. As Addo-Carr gets a taste of that swamp.
Takes you a week to clean all the mud out of your nose and your ears and whatever else.
You just hope there's plenty of hot water when you hit the showers. Now Stimson. Tough going at CommBank Stadium. But the prize is the same after this, as opposed to a 30-degree, sunny, fast, dry afternoon. 2 premiership points up for grabs, and it's Burton kicking long down to Kennedy, who positions himself nicely. And now he's driven backwards strong from Moran. He was the man most responsible. Katoa. His best try-scoring season, Shani Katoa, 16. He has 11 so far. Is there another one this afternoon for the right winger at Cronulla? Here's Andrew Fafita into the game. The 33-year-old. He turned 33 this week and getting some game time as Toby Rudolph takes a breather. Moylan, here's Kennedy. Talakai straightens. Talakai. It's holding on by Flanagan that brings him down. Hines with Moylan timing his chase. Moylan contests the catch, but Averillo gets the ball.
He's been almost perfect at the back. Averillo got the try just before half-time. Been put under all sorts of pressure here. There's a good chase again from Moylan. And another nice take at the back for the Doggies.
It's a different game than when they last met round 19 last year. Cronulla winning 44-24. 68 points scored. They've got 12 so far, and we're nearly 50 minutes in. And here's a whistle. To play the ball by Canterbury blocker.
I'm just about to say, you've got to hold your nerve in these conditions. It's a young fella making a mistake again, Casey.
Well, they've used their challenge, remember. If this is good on the replay, which it isn't.
It's a sloppy
they
play the ball.
Have challenged anyway.
Attention to detail in these conditions. To try and do everything at 100%. Make sure of even getting your feet and putting your foot on the ball and rolling it back. It sounds simple, but always tough in slippery conditions. Got to concentrate.
For the record, Declan Casey, Bulldog number 834. He's worn a few numbers in New South Wales Cup as well, as a centre, a winger, a fullback. And now Hines goes to Moylan. Shot makes the tackle, and might have been a bit of a verbal in there as well. Now we see McInnes walking his way within 8 metres of the line. Brayley for Hines, long, really long. Katoa for the corner, yes, he got there. It may have been a tangle. He didn't get there as he planned, but all that matters is how it finishes, and it finished with a try.
Yeah, Katoa just finished well. It was Burton who came across. He got himself down low and just stepped off his right foot, Katoa. They can't make the tackle. He's so strong. And this is the money ball. The ball right over the top there from Hines. As I said a bit earlier, they're short in their defensive line, the Dogs. Burton can't make the tackle. He just sums it up too quickly. The ball over the top. Addo-Carr can't adjust. Katoa gets a try.
He finished as though he was lying on a deck chair. Not the afternoon for a deck chair. So earlier, Ronaldo Mulatalo went to 11 tries for the season, equaling Katoa. Now Sione says, I'll go ahead again, thanks, up to 12 for the campaign.
He's just so strong, just gets himself low in a little bit of a ball. You see Burton try to make the tackle too high, just slips off over to the top. Katoa keeps his feet. 2 strong scores. That's the opening try of the second half from the Sharks.
Nico Hines already slotting one from the sideline. What a goal-kicking display Nico. 2 from 2 from out wide in terrible conditions, and every point priceless in this.
Yeah, he just keeps his nerve, doesn't he? Some good play. There's the first try there from Mulatalo. And then on the other side of the field, Katoa, too strong. They just couldn't adjust.
It was Mulatalo's 11th, and yes, it was Katoa's 12th. His 12th of the campaign. So Craig Fitzgibbon looks on as his team goes back in front, restoring their 6-0 lead, or their 6-point lead from the first half. Fifita! Oh no, he's left some damage in the rearview mirror. There was some big contact. There's going to be a Bulldog forced out of the game, and sadly, it's the debutant Declan Casey.
Well, experience for Fifita. That's the way you run the ball back from a kick. Off after you've scored a try. He's a hard man to tackle. Oh, geez, there's some contact there.
Yeah, the 22-year-olds up quickly. No doubt aware that it hadn't been the happiest of the debuts so far, and trying to change that, trying to make something happen, and unfortunately, he's knocked himself out.
Well, there's no lack of courage from the young fella. I know he's made a couple of mistakes in this game, but put yourself out there. A man charging on the ball like that in Fifita, experienced player, been around for an age, knows how to use his body properly. Just have a look how he dipped his shoulder and his hip into Casey. You feel for the young fella, but what a courageous effort.
And there's no illegality from the ball carrier. You can use your body how you want. Within reason, that was a perfectly legal return. Just unfortunate for Declan that contact with the head was made. So we'll have a long stoppage here while all care and attention is given to the 22-year-old on debut. Played cup for Canterbury, then Mounties back to the Dogs, 23 games in the second tier, and we congratulate him on his NRL debut, even though it's not going to finish the way he would have liked. Let's bring you up to date with what's happened so far in the 6th minute. Cronulla landed the first blow. Talakai holding the pass beautifully for Ronaldo Mulatalo. 6-0 after the Nico Hines conversion, right on half-time blocker. After a period of domination, it was Jeremy Marshall-King kicking for Jake Averillo, and then this.
Yeah, they would have been up at half-time, wouldn't they, the Dogs? But Hines, the experience, the pass over the top. It's his 12th try assist of the season. Katoa gets over the stripe.
So that is the situation here at CommBank Stadium, as Declan Casey is transferred onto a stretcher and the Medicab and taken from the field. After this one, we're off to North Queensland. The Cowboys against the Broncos. Luciano Leilua, the former Dragon and Wests Tiger, making his club debut as a Cowboy. Premiership game 100. You wonder what sort of difference he might make on debut for North Queensland.
Well, I think he's a great addition to them. I was really sorry to see him leave the Tigers, but tremendous ball player. He'll fit right into the style of the Cowboys. You remember the Cowboys back in round 3, they gave the Broncos a little bit of a hiding.
38-12, 6 tries to 2.
So it's a good addition for them.
As Paul Vaughan prepares to come on as the head injury assessment replacement. And finishing tonight, South Sydney against Parramatta. Latrell Mitchell back for the Bunnies, but South Sydney trailed in their last game, seems an eternity ago, 32-0 at the break against the Dragons.
It's amazing the impact that Latrell Mitchell's had on everyone. I reckon the whole league world, every fan will be watching, see if he gets up and about. They say that he's never looked fitter. Just got to take that out on the field now.
While we have this stoppage, let's check in with Adam Reynolds, actually, who's speaking with Brent Tate. Adam Reynolds speaking with Brent Tate a moment ago before the Broncos tried to reverse that loss in round 3 against North Queensland. Here's Declan Casey being taken from the field. Our thoughts with the family and friends of Declan, who are no doubt watching on anxiously, including Dad Steve, who played with St George and Norths, also a centre where his son was playing today. And Canterbury, we know, will be quick to be in contact as Declan Casey gets back into the rooms. Congratulations on your debut, young man. There are happier times, no doubt, on the rugby league field just around the corner. So this is largely irrelevant in comparison with the gravity of the situation, Blocker, but how does this affect the game? A long stoppage now, and they both need to regroup quickly. Well,
they're in good field position now defensively, aren't they? The Dogs have got them on the first tackle. The Sharks just up over the 10-metre line, so it'll be interesting to see if they're revved up now. See what effect it has on their defensive line here.
Talakai hard into the defence again. Nothing ginger about the way the Bulldogs advanced after the knockout play from Declan Casey. Fafita. It's Jackson sliding down around the legs and Flanagan up top. Tolman. But look at Canterbury. Ride this decision from Ash Klein. They're about to get good ball.
There's a good tackle there by Josh Jackson, the captain of the Bulldogs. Fafita just makes a meal of it, coming up to play the ball. What about this for field position now for the Dogs?
I've seen poorer play the balls than Andrew Fafita displayed right there. Not perfect, but maybe a little tough against the Sharks. Look at the error count. Nearly twice as many made by Cronulla to Canterbury. But it's the Sharks in front and trying to stay there as Burton goes to shot towards the sideline and he stays in the field of play. You can see the margin coming away with it. Cronulla, here's Kennedy running away from Faitala Mariner. Avarillo gets back there, turned inside out by Kennedy, and they pin him just short of the line. Nakora. It goes through Hines, now Moylan, Fafita. Brushing away from Flanagan, trying to pull away, which he did, and Flanagan comes again. 6 again, now a penalty for sure. This could be sin bin.
No, that's not cynical, all right.
Yeah, I reckon it's accidental there.
I wondered whether Ash Klein might see this as deliberate, therefore cynical, therefore sin bin, but straight away he shut that down.
Gee, Fafita's made a difference since he's come on. Just couldn't keep his legs as he made a half break there. No support.
The 2-time Dally M Prop of the Year. Played for Australia, played for Tonga. 10 origins. As I mentioned, a birthday this week, 33, off the bench with impact.
And scored that grand final try that the Sharks won their maiden premiership. I think it was a try that many other blokes would have scored.
Smart work by Cronulla to come up with the ball, and in the end it's Addo Carr with the try saver. And given they're out by 6, they're going to shoot for goal here. Normally in these conditions you would describe it as a real tester for Nicho Hines, but he's dropped his first 2 over the crossbar from the western sideline.
You just get the feeling if he's able to kick this, geez, 8 points ahead. If he does kick it, puts a lot of pressure on the Bulldogs to start to try and play catch-ups. Try and start to force the ball. Important kick, this one for Hines.
He kicked 3 from 4 against Gold Coast in Coffs Harbour. Now Nicho peers through the raindrops and tries to steer this over for an 8-point buffer, waved away. So his first miss of the afternoon. The crowd here this afternoon, 8,837. Congratulations to every single one of you for coming out in this wet to support your team, be it Sharks or Canterbury or just the game of rugby league. Buy a beanie. MarkHughesFoundation.com.au. The goal line dropout.
What a kick.
What about that for a result? When we talk about the boot of Matt Burton, we weren't necessarily referring to that. A goal line dropout that finds the sideline.
Well, Mulatalo, there was nothing he could really do here. Just hit it nice and low and hard.
Inch perfect.
Oh, hang on.
Ooh.
Hang on.
Hang on.
Hang on. It's
Hang
gone out
on.
in the full. It's hit the line. It's out in the full.
Have a look again. Put those spectacles on, Stephen, and tell me if this hits the line.
It's out in the full. Well, Touchy, you've got one job.
And now the players have noticed and the referee said too bad. Canterbury have blown their challenge. Cronulla still had theirs, but time elapsed. So if the touchy can see it, surely the players can as well.
Well, we've got the hindsight of a couple of replays, but it took a couple of replays to see that the ball hit the line. That's out in the full.
So Canterbury cut a break. And then Stimson goes to work. The rain has been relentless since kickoff. Marshall King, he's been a handful out of dummy half. Bound for the Dolphins next year. And now it's Burton. High above the ground. Down for Kennedy. And Kennedy's wrapped up by Flanagan. Yeah, Jeremy Marshall-King might be off to the Dolphins next year. Cameron Munster calling a media conference earlier today that it says he's not. I found it all a little strange that
What is
they call a media conference to say what's not happening.
It's a media conference about nothing.
Here's Talakai. They're lining up here, Cronulla, wanting the ball, good energy shown. Ramian ended up with it, and he's stopped by Faitala Mariner. Now Cam McInnes. He takes tackle 5. And now it's been ruled lost in the play, the ball.
Just trying to get to his feet a little bit quick. We've seen that a couple of errors like that in this game. It's got to be so sure of your footing.
If they think it's wrong, they can challenge, but it's right. That was even worse than the Andrew Fafita play the ball, noticed by Ash Klein a moment ago.
I'll tell you what, we're going to get a finish if they can score. They've had a little bit of field position now, the Dogs.
The coach watches on. His team won 4 straight games up to and including round 5. Since then it was win-loss, win-loss through to the back-to-back wins coming here. A rumble 40 metres out. It's a grind, isn't it, in the big wet as Flanagan finds Morin. Burton for Faitala Mariner, who surrenders in his run. Stimson. The off-contract Joe Stimson, and now they run to the line, and Grubber, it's a good kick, an air swing, the ball is there. Canterbury claim the try. The Dogs in a scramble say, we did it, sir. We've got there.
Well, if this is a try, he's had a hand in a couple of them, hasn't he, Marshall King?
And as he scored in back-to-back games to start his career, Curtis Morin.
And one of the Sharks players, I don't know who it is, he just tries to kick the ball dead in goal instead of diving on it. Miskicks it. There's an air swing. And Moran right on the spot. Nico Hines can't clean it up. There it is, the kick. He just misses it, air swing. Let's have a look at the put down.
Will Kennedy just falls over the ball.
Well, has Kennedy been pushed in the back?
It's like the conditions, very, very messy.
Oh, I think he's pushed off the ball there. Look where he ends up. Spews out the back here. I don't think it'll be a try.
You've got Paul Vaughan pushing Will Kennedy.
It's a penalty for a push. Yeah.
Yes, the ruling is that Kurt pushes Will get the ball. Not when you're pushing it.
So
It's 10 out.
Moran pushing Kennedy out of the way.
It's on the line.
Job for you in the bunker, Steve Roach. There's every Saturday and Sunday looked after.
As long as I've got OPSM sponsoring me.
Sideline to Lara pitch.
Yeah, Maddie, pleased to report that I've just seen debutant Declan Casey get up off the Medicab in the tunnel and walk around to the sheds with his family closely behind him. The Bulldogs medical staff taking great care after that nasty head knock, but the news is that he is up and about.
Thank you, Lara. Great news. Fantastic to hear after that big collision with Andrew Fafita. That left him prone on the ground for a long, long time. There he is, little shake of the head from Declan. Not every debut can be a dream as Cronulla come onto the ball here. Kennedy onto Ramian. Hines kicks across the ground. Plenty of Sharks there to contest the ball. And they'll get 6 again. Canterbury couldn't clean it up. They knocked it on. Cronulla can play on. Wilton Talakai. He couldn't wind up. And now Kiraz, who made good first contact, peels off. Moylan for McInnes. Inside the final 20. Any lead beyond 6 points now is huge for the Sharks. Brayley. Here's Hines. Under pressure, the ball's knocked down for Andrew Fafita. Quick thinking from Finucane.
Stand down, play where you are.
2 plays left. They go in that direction. It's Moylan. Again, numbers. Kennedy. Good tackle. Fantastic from Aaron Schopp. It was Waddell with the tackle. A try saver. Now the kick for Burton. Canterbury hang on. They'll be forced into a goal line dropout.
Yeah, that was good defence there by the Sharks, because Burton takes the ball, just lands back down, and they just hold him up. And then the troops come. Fafita, Ramian. That's a big play from the Sharks.
Does Burton go again? No, it's a short goal line dropout this time. It falls for Hines. He comes to Finucane. And Finucane trudges up the middle. Hines from Nakora. Moylan tried to step past the defence. Joe Stimpson made contact. Jackson cleans up. They'll spend a lot of time here, Cronulla. Is there a way through on this set? Kennedy, there is! It's Bretton Nakora! Straight and hard. That's the way to go through in these conditions. Run like you mean it and finish with a try.
Yeah, just got the inside shoulder there, hit the ball at speed. It's a great try, Nakora. We've seen him do it time and time again. Inside shoulder of Burton. Just a few arm grabbers there. But just the speed that he hit the ball at. Taylor Mariner can't come away with the tackle. Out of dummy half there. Look at the speed that he hits the line at. Nice soft hands here. Catch and pass there from Kennedy. Inside shoulder, look at that. That's great camera work too, to show exactly what we're talking about. And a little bit unlucky, the Dogs. They could have scored a couple of tries from a couple of big kicks up the other end of the field, but it's the Sharks that go back to back.
Britton Nakora, one of a host of off-contract Sharks, but despite being linked with a number of clubs, including the Warriors, I read he's said to stay a Shark. And he delivers a big play there. His second try of the season. He's an 80-minute edge forward. Another one up past 20 offloads this season, Blocker.
You know what else he's got? Really late footwork at the line, and it doesn't slow him down when he steps.
Hines adds the extras as the rain gets heavier. But Britton Nakora, 5 tests for the Kiwis, including 17 minutes last week. Watch it again. Plenty of defenders there. He just wanted it more.
He just knew just that little bit of line that he had to run just off the right foot there.
Tavita Pangai Jr. forced off in the first half, as reported by Lara Pitt sideline. Not to return and in a boot already.
Well, that's a big blow for them too in that first half. He's their best go forward man. Pangai Jr.
A short kick-off taken by Cronulla. Look at the conditions. So a 12-point lead to the Sharks. A big advantage indeed. Rudolph. 14.5 minutes to go if the Sharks go on to close this one out. Craig Fitzgibbon, you'd imagine, would be a very happy man. Again, Nakora running straight and worrying about the outcome secondary. McInnes. Last play as Hines puts it in the air. Addo-Carr couldn't gather the ball. Mustn't have been off Addo-Carr because it's been cleaned up by Burton in front of him. His shot. Tenacious defensively still, Cronulla. Addo-Carr. Now the other winger, Jacob Kiraz. Not the day to be a fleet-footed winger.
Gotta be careful you don't drown out there. Look at it.
Well, Zach Docker-Clay luckily goes down on his back. Burton says, let's get up the other end of the field. The kick, though, straight to Will Kennedy. And Kennedy gets back within 10 of halfway.
Just got to find something now. The Dogs, when they've got the ball, they might as well go down swinging. Try and force the issue. Rather just run one out. You won't get anywhere doing that. Especially when you're behind 18-6.
Well, can they find some of those points they've scored over the last couple of rounds? Just the one try so far, right on half-time. Jake Averillo, the man. And you're right, time ticking away on them. Here's Hines. McInnes. He takes tackle 5. Moylan, a chip, and it lands in the lap of Kiraz. Fantastic Sunday ticket tomorrow on Fox League. The Warriors homecoming against West's Tigers. Back to Mount Smart. Is the Mount Smart Joker laughing after full time tomorrow into St George Illawarra against Canberra. Those two clubs celebrating 40-year anniversaries of inclusion in the big league. The Raiders and half the joint venture, Illawarra. The Bulldogs' next 5 are bye, then South Sydney, Gold Coast, Newcastle and the Cowboys. What news is unfolding on the Gold Coast front over the next few days. We'll wait and see. Burton gets the kick away. This time it bounces in front of Katoa. There's a bit of room there for the winger. Wrapped up by Max King. Ramian stays on his feet. Here's Wade Graham. Now Moylan, Hines, Talakai gets the ball away. Look questionable. Mulatalo back to Hines. And Flanagan tries the strip one-on-one again. It worked for him earlier in the game, not this time. Wade Graham to Moylan, who holds the pass. Now Ramian, Katoa, one in the bank already. He slips under the tackle of Burton and is wrapped up by Addo-Carr. Moylan goes towards the uprights and marking in goal. Well played, Canterbury. It's Jake Averillo back to the 20, tap and go, 7 tackles for the Dogs.
These players have got to just jump up and around the ball there. Averillo just took off, restarted the set. There was no one in support. He's had a whale of a game, Marshall King. Very dangerous out of dummy half.
The replay box showed it perfectly. Jake Averillo, smart play. Made it look easy. Landing the back foot, catching over the front foot. And they can come up field as a result. Now King. With an offload, a late offload, Zach Docker-Clay. In his first season of NRL at Canterbury after a long, long journey indeed. Started at Parramatta in the under-20s, 2012. Here's Burton. Faitala Mariner looking for an opening. 12 tackles out, that's the 5th. 12 metres out, and now Docker-Clay puts it on the foot. And it pulls up. It's just dived on by Kennedy.
You just got to find something here defensively. The Dogs try and jolt that ball free. Just an extra effort here.
Go Hines dancing back middle of the ground. Next up, we're off to North Queensland. The Cowboys, they're in the top 4. They're sitting 3rd. And they beat Brisbane for the 2nd time this season. 38-12 it was back in round 3. That's next on your Fox League Super Saturday. Rudolph playing the ball. Hines measures the kick. It will land in the bog. It pulls up. Averillo goes to Kiraz. And Kiraz can't break the chase from Wade Graham. Matty Moylan. Later tonight, Latrell Mitchell returning for South Sydney against Parramatta. A beauty on paper to finish the Super Saturday. Canterbury turn it over, and time ticks away on the blocker.
Yeah, it'll be all about field position now for the Sharks. Just kick to the corners. The Dogs play off their own line.
Graham. The Sharks had a number of players contract COVID over rep round, but they could isolate without missing a game. They actually got back for a couple of training sessions and prepared for this game. Now the gather and kick towards the sideline. It didn't go where Jake Averillo planned. He wanted to straighten the kick.
I'd love to show the pick up again. Look at this for skill. At speed, and the ball off the side of the boot. He was trying something a little bit different. Clock ticking away.
If Cronulla can hang on, they'll stay in the top 4. They can sit back and watch the challenges as the evening proceeds. Brisbane and Parramatta are hoping the Sharks might be rolled this afternoon. Here's Hunt back on to finish the game and dropping the ball. So Jeremy Marshall-King still hasn't given up, signalling his players for a quick scrum to stop the clock and open up as much time as possible.
And the lock's got to pack into the scrum too before they can call time off, and you've got to stay, you've got to keep your head in there. Averillo showed his hand there, just the last set that they had. He's the go-to man to try and put something on special here for the Bulldogs.
Many of the stats pretty even. Line breaks though, 7-1 in favour of Cronulla. Brisbane preparing in North Queensland. They want revenge for round 3. As we touched on earlier, big ins with Reynolds and Payne Haas. Here's the run meters advantage to Cronulla. And it's a tough run there for Josh Jackson. Straight at Sifa Talakai. King goes through. Couldn't get a lot of speed in the run though before Wade Graham forced him to ground. Now Faitala Mariner. Vaughan. Final play for the Bulldogs. 5 minutes 20 to play. They put it through their hands. Good tackle, Matt Moylan up quickly, and not for the first time. A Matt Moylan defensive play is a big win for Cronulla.
Yeah, he's used his speed to get over the line, hasn't he? Just put pressure on, gets up, a good tackle there. Just as the ball was arriving there for Flanagan, and Moylan with a good front-on hit. I think he's playing the best football of his career. Really found a second life here at the Sharks. Instrumental in their win today.
Well, Matt Moylan, one of the off-contract Cronulla players, and Lara Pitt, I know you have a bit of information regarding the man they call Moiser, who's playing in great form.
Yeah, well, Craig Fitzgibbon obviously coming to the club this year wanted to see what Moylan had to offer. He gave a big rap this week saying he's taken responsibility for his own run of form in recent season, accepted a challenge to work hard and has been consistent. He's on the verge of signing a new 2-year deal, his manager telling me. They're hopeful of getting it done this week.
Thank you, Lara. Some news to come, perhaps, for Matt Moylan and from the Cronulla Sharks. Here's Hines, just kicking into no man's land back there. Waddell cleans up in goal.
Yeah, he didn't really have any choice there. Waddell got himself back. The chasers were coming. He's found the ground a fair few times, hasn't he, with his kicking game, Hines? Set up a couple of tries. Look at that, finds the grass. He couldn't do much there.
So Burton with the goal line drop out, again looking for the sideline. He'll go very, very close. Have we seen enough of the Burton boot in general play block, or are our expectations too high after Origin?
He's such a great runner of the ball too. I just hope he doesn't forget to do that. Like, he's a great kicker of the footy, there's no doubt about that, but gee, I like it when he does take the line on, whether he's just sitting back, probably in these sort of conditions, just waiting for the kick. We see him run the ball, we know what a damaging ball runner he is.
Hunt to Moylan. Now Brayley, here's Finucane. Hines again kicking, looking for Katoa on the fly. He got there, but the Fox got to Sione.
Great tackle there from the Fox.
That's good rugby league, from the kick to the take to the tackle. Hines again off the boot. It's there for the Sharks, and they clean up just. Canterbury clinging on, but the clock is very much against them.
It's been a masterclass with his kicking game, Hines. I know I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but just the touch and the feel. Again, he forces another line drop out.
This time Burton goes high and short. Through the air, it's knocked backwards by Mulatalo over the sideline. So Canterbury will get the ball. But they've got to go 80 metres.
And they've got to rush to form the scrum too. Or to play the ball. 80 metres, a long way. They haven't really made a clean break here in the second half. They're unlucky not to score a couple of tries off kicks.
Only 2 Canterbury players have run for more than 100 metres. Raymond Faitala Mariner, no surprise there. And Jeremy Marshall-King. Here's Faitala Mariner adding to that tally.
He's got a
Over
good,
halfway.
He's got a good understanding with Burton too. They've got a good combination.
Here's Shop. Can they do a Melbourne on Thursday night and set up one final play to try to force Golden Point? Canterbury, minute 30 left. They're 30 out. Midway through this set. Here's Flanagan. Docker Clay, that looked questionable to Vaughan. And he's felled 20 out. Somewhere under all that water is a red line. Now Burton kicks back in field. It's a simple mark in front of the face for Wade Graham.
Yeah, showed his experience there. Just waited for that ball to come to him. Graham, he read the kick before it even come off the boot there from Burton. Tried something a little bit different to kick back in field. Wade Graham cleans up.
So ball security for Cronulla headed towards 3 straight wins. Having taken the Warriors 38-16, then Gold Coast 18-10 in Coffs Harbour. It will be Canterbury at this stage 18-6. Now Hines running the ball and almost gliding past Burton. Hines looking better and better the longer the game goes. Now Moylan kicking down the field. Apart from Hines' general play kicking, his sideline conversions in the first half, so important. Here's Kiraz. Now Adokar. And time expires on a wet afternoon at CommBank Stadium. Celebrations for the Sharks. They've beaten Canterbury, scoring 3 tries to 1. It was 6-all at half-time. The second half belonged to the Sharks. They make it 3 in a row and win it 18-6.